Hey everybody, it's your girl Nisha, aka Nisha the Voice, coming in for another episode of Industry Conversations 101. Live with me, I have Miss Jada Camille, who is an author. Nice to meet you, hon.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you on tonight for one. To be 17 years old, to be a published author, that is a huge accomplishment. How do you feel? Because you just had your book launch. So I follow you on Instagram. So how does that feel to be a published author?
It feels surreal to me. I don't think even when through the process of becoming a published author, I realized how meaningful it is to have a book out at my age and
Mhm.
what the book is about. I feel like my point where it hit me was when I saw it listed on Amazon. That was kind of like the moment where I was like, okay, now I get it. So I feel great about it, really.
Right, as you should, because to be young and to be a published author, I think that's a lot. I think it's like you said, it's not surreal until you see it on Amazon, right?
Right.
And as you see your face everywhere, and to actually go online and now see that your book is there. So first off, first things first, I know you got your start being a writer or writing in third grade. So tell us a little bit about that start. What was that project like? What was that feeling like when you were in third grade and you were just completing your first assignment, and then you just said, I want to write.
Yeah, so I feel like there was never that point where I was like, I want to write. I feel like it's just something that I always did naturally. So in third grade, my third grade teacher, she had like a homework assignment. It was just like write one page about anything. And I would always come up with these stories and I would get so excited after I did them for homework. And I would show her and she was like, oh, these are good. And I'll be like, can I read them to the class? So I would sit in her teacher chair and read them to the class. And I felt like in that time being so young, I didn't realize, okay, this is something that I could do. My mom was always the one that was like, Jada, you should write a book or things like that. So it was just like something that I like doing when I'm bored or things like that.
Right. Well, children at that age, third grade, I think I had my first journal at third grade. Yeah, at third grade, you're not really thinking about writing a book or writing a story. I think I remember in elementary school, we used to have these writing contests. Teacher give you an assignment, you do the assignment, and that's that, right? Never thought that this would pretty much lead to where you are now,
Right.
right? So let's get into the book, which I had the opportunity to read a little bit of synopsis of the book. Tell us a little bit about that, because is chemistry your favorite subject in school?
It's not. So actually chemistry is hard for me.
Wow. Okay.
I did struggle with it a little bit this year. Basically it was a project as well. And I did the project well. And my teacher was like, oh, this is good, show the class. And when I showed the class, one of the teachers that were sitting in that class is a publisher as well with her own publishing company. And she's got sent me an email after class and was like, do you want to make this into a book? And I was like, yeah, sure. So chemistry isn't my best subject that I'm best at. I feel like my favorite subject would be English, is being able to do like creative writing projects and things like that. This is just happens to be the place where the opportunity was waiting for me.
Right. So that led to the book was a science project, correct?
Yes.
Wow, wow. So this is, like you stated, science it was chemistry was is pretty hard for you. Same here. So we have a lot in common. Chemistry was very hard for me too. So the thing is, I guess, for those that would be, taking a look at the book for the first time, kind of walk me through of what a first time reader would actually be thinking about when they go into this book. Guide me through the book.
Okay, so it starts off. So what the assignment was is to explain chemical elements in a way that a child would understand, like an elementary child. So the book starts with it's basically based around school for chemical elements. So it's titled Elements Go to School Too. So it starts off with the teacher introducing you to the school, and then walking you through her classrooms, the different classrooms, what elements are in each classroom. She takes you to the cafeteria, and you can see where the elements sit based on where they are in the periodic table. And it also has a picture day for the school, which is the periodic table, and it further explains that, and it has fun fact pages as well that even goes further back where you can understand it on a deeper level as well.
Well, that's awesome, Jada, because that is so that you break it down to where, and I hope I don't have this wrong, but you break it down to where a third grader can really understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that is so important now, especially when we have so much going on, especially with the pandemic. With a lot of kids, a lot of elementary students that are not able to go back into the classroom. This is almost like a go-to guide for them to understand chemistry at such a young age. Because things have changed so much since I was in school. So to be able to have something, a tool such as this, a book such as this, where parents can go get this for their children to walk them through and talk about the elements. The elements, I remember, reviewing the periodic table. And I think that was the most hardest thing in the world to try to remember that, especially when you're having a test.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome that you're able to capture that, especially for younger students. You know, and when you talk about the whole book of going through and how you write it from a teacher's perspective, what was that teacher that really inspired you to write or actually to become a writer?
So it was actually my third grade teacher, having that experience of like reading my stories. And even I remember vividly, like a little girl came up to me after I was done in third grade reading it to the class. And she was like, "Can I have your notebook? I want to read more of your story." Because I would do it in chapters too, like drag it out. And each week I'll read the next chapter and things like that. So that really made me feel good about my writing. So I feel like that teacher definitely inspired me. And she was actually at my book launch in support as well. So, and she's actually in my dedication in my book as well. Her name's Miss Cepeda.
Wow, wow. Well, I mean, I think everyone has a teacher that inspires them to do more. And especially those teachers from grade school that just stick with you just throughout your, grade school, high school that follows you, that you can still go back and talk to, and still kind of bounce ideas off of. So let's talk about the book launch, which wasn't not too long ago. So tell us a little bit about it. What was the most fun thing about it, about your book launch?
I feel like the most fun thing about it was just seeing everyone from like my walk of life thus far, like seeing people that I did not expect to come, or seeing people that I haven't seen in years, was kind of just like, wow. It made me see like how much I'm actually doing, for people to say that they was like so proud of me. And I got so many "I'm so proud of you" that I was just like, how do I soak this all in? Like how do I just like thank you, because I kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, and it kind of just like, it has to sit in. It has to sit in more. So I feel like that was my favorite part about it, was just seeing how many people actually was in support of it.
Yeah, yeah. So being a young girl from the Bronx, um, and being able, being raised, I say New York State of mind, and being, actually, amongst so many talented artists, so many authors that have, evolved from that area, so many talented individuals. So especially now adding to that yourself. So, right now there's so many things that are influencing our youth right now. And for you, as a entrepreneur and also basically a brand new writer, what are some of the things that you go through on a daily basis, especially as being a student? Because however, we just coming out of a pandemic, and now we have a Delta variant that's coming through as well. So, what are some of your challenges? Some of the things that you've faced?
I feel like some of the things that I faced, specifically in this neighborhood, is making sure that you're not falling into the wrong crowd. And that's
Mm,
something that a lot of teens like struggle with. Wanting to be like a part of the mix, I would say, wanting to be like popular, or wanting to be accepted by your peers. there's certain things that influence us that, okay, let me do this so that I won't have to deal with the backlash of people saying, oh, well, you're not cool, or, you're not
Mm,
in this clique, or you don't do this, or, just cracking jokes on you and things like that. So I feel like that's the biggest challenge, because I did face those all through elementary, all through middle school, so much so where I took a break from the Bronx and I moved to Jersey, to a
mm,
suburban area, and I had to kind of like regroup myself and learn how to come back into this environment. And now I'm back here in high school. So with my experience, knowing how it was in middle school, and being able to now be like, okay, so these are the people, or these are the things that I cannot be around, that I can't associate myself with, because they're not going to lead me on a good path.
right, right. And Jada, I'm so proud of you for saying that because, there's so much going on right now with our youth, especially with bullying, cyberbullying. There's a lot of things that are going on, like you talked about, as being with the wrong crowd. And, I hear parents say all the time that, kids have to understand that you can't be on every set. You can't follow the leader. You can't be in certain crowds. And for you as a young adult to say, hey, I have to remove myself from this area, and now I have to regroup and do something that's going to be better for me, that speaks volumes, because you as a young adult recognize that you had to do something, way different in order for you to be on the right path. So I commend you for that. And I think we have a lot, especially when it comes to music. When we talk about hip hop, when we talk about music now, I have a 17-year-old, so he listens to a lot, of the newer hip hop that is coming out. And we hear a lot of things right now in the news. We hear so much things that are controversial as to what is pretty much influencing our youth. And you just spoke about, being on the wrong path and things of that nature. Do you have a thought on how music may have or may be influencing the youth?
I feel like it definitely has a big impact on the youth. It always has. Like the trends in music, you see rappers wear their clothes a certain way. You want to wear your clothes that way. I feel like the most impactful thing in music right now, is like the degradation of women.
Mm,
I feel like, just like the way that rappers would talk about women to like undermine them or make them seem as objects, a lot of the youth just follow by them, both boy youth and girl youth. We think less of ourselves as girls, and then the boys think less of us, based
mm.
on the rap music. So I feel like that is the most impactful thing right now in hip hop.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. I can agree with that. As we were coming up, it was influential, but not as influential as it is as right now. We, coming up, we would hear those things as well, just as you talked about. And I think now I hear it more. I hear more of degrading lyrics towards women, just as you spoke about. And I see a lot more of women empowerment, just as you talked about, as, women such as, the youth respecting themselves, because there's so much. We see a lot on Instagram, like social media. Social media is the big thing right now. And I know that is so huge for you and your book launch and everything else that you have going on. What is your interaction right now on social media?
So, before this, it was just, I post a picture every now and then. But now, it's like having to like double down on my social media and make sure that it's something that I like keep up with. Make sure to like post about things such as this, and making sure, to like get that algorithm so that I could build
Mm,
my social media audience, I guess I would say.
mm-hmm.
Um, so making sure to post frequently, and it gets a little bit stressful because you're enjoying life. Like if you go out somewhere, you're enjoying life. You're not thinking, okay, let me take a picture for Instagram. So just having to like frame my mind to do things like that has been a little bit of a challenge for me, but I'm enjoying my journey as I go.
Yeah, yeah. And TikTok now has been like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I remember when Instagram first started out, 10 years ago, that was the huge wave. Facebook, that was the huge wave. And now TikTok is the major thing where you see so many, especially so much of the youth that are on TikTok. Like I can go on TikTok, late in the day, and here it is. I see kids at school, they're doing TikToks, or kids in the
Yeah.
bathroom doing TikToks. So it's so much. I think social media has such a huge impact on our youth as well, just as much as hip hop. I think because we see so many things, and I remember not too long ago, especially on YouTube, when YouTube was the biggest thing, where people would post so many things, and people are still doing it now. Where there's if something happens in a store, something happens on the corner, someone has their phone out, someone is videotaping something and placing it on YouTube or placing it on Facebook in order just to go viral. So I think there's so many things with social media that's influential to our youth right now, that I think that will definitely possibly hurt our youth, going on, if we don't pay attention to what they're doing, especially at a young age, because you have kids now that are like 4 and 5 years old that are doing TikToks, that are on social media, that are, going into their parents' accounts and just doing TikToks. So it's just so much going on right now, especially with social media and the platforms that we have, and especially for you, for being so young and the platform that you have. I'm just overjoyed just to hear you say, because that how careful you are with the content that you do post. Because of course you're building a brand, right? You're building a brand, and as this is a great segue into going to talk about your future, your aspirations. So what is Jada's future aspirations? What are your goals?
My goals. So I definitely want to go into producing TV shows and things of that nature. Like I see myself on set, like as the director, like you go over there, you go over there. I also want to start my own clothing line, which I like thought all through, planned the whole thing out, but I do have to wait for that. So I see myself just like I have a lot of things that I like to do. So I see
Mm,
myself just branching out and becoming more of an entrepreneur than I already am. Just have
mm-hmm.
different sources that I can provide different, products and things to people. I just want to like have like that show that everyone could watch. I want to have those clothes that everyone could wear. I feel like a good inspiration is Rihanna as well. She has Fenty everything. So she has her skin,
Yes.
makeup. She has her lingerie line. She has her music. So just to see how much she does, like that's kind of how I want to be, where I branch out into many different things. I don't want to hold myself in a box.
Oh wow. I think that's great. So we talked about TV shows. So what is the number one TV show right now that Jada loves, that Jada cannot deal without, that Jada has to watch every time that it comes on?
Oh my God. So I love anything reality TV. But I also have like my favorites that aren't reality. So Charmed, it's an old one, but
Uh-huh.
I could rewatch that anytime. Also Vampire Diaries series, where it has
Mhm.
the originals and legacies. I can go through that. There's so many seasons that I forget the episodes.
Oh wow. And when you mention Charm, that is so old school. Oh my God. That was an awesome, 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 awesome show.
I love it.
Um, Lifetime kind of did something like almost like a spinoff of it, The Witches of West End, and they were just as great as the ladies from Charmed.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love mystery. I think those are, to me, I think those are probably the most interesting um, shows to watch. And like you said, reality TV I think is great too. Sometimes you can tell that it's a little scripted, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like because it's like you can tell, like when certain things that they say, that it's really not realistic. Like you can say, okay, this is scripted.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I think a lot of different things that we have going right now, because I feel later on cable is just going to be non-existent, because everybody's coming out with things right now on Netflix, Hulu, original series. Even Spectrum has original series now. So in direct TV, I mean, everybody's starting to have, their own original series that people can, go and watch later on. So for you to talk about that you want to be a director, these are your aspirations, and talk about TV shows. That's a great foundation of some of the shows that you talked about. Just as well, like as you talked about Rihanna. Rihanna is now officially a billionaire effectively today. So yeah, definitely that's a huge aspiration of going from music and then venturing out and then having so many sources of income. And for you to say that as well, I mean, I think that is very important. I think that we do teach our youth at a young age how important it is, especially to have generational wealth, to basically, go out there, venture, and see what's out there. Like you said, live your life, be able to live your life, and be able to be, the entrepreneur that you want. So, are you seeking college, or do you want to go to college or anything like that?
I definitely want to go to college, but I haven't looked into it. I feel like as deeply as I should have.
Okay.
Junior year is kind of where you prepare yourself for senior year, and with
Yeah.
everything that went on in junior year, my school even does college trips, so Coach Bus. Um,
Mm-hmm.
as well. So with everything that happened with the pandemic, kind of just overshadowed that part of senior year. So I'm excited to go in person and go to senior year and be able to do those things again if we
Mm-hmm.
could, and definitely get on that and start looking into it more.
Yeah, yeah. I think the pandemic kind of just slowed things down for a
Mhm.
lot of individuals, especially, college tours and things like that, especially for concerts. So, when and even talking about music, being able to do things, being able to go out and just have a normal life. I think the pandemic just slowed things down for everybody. To have some type of normal regimen, being able to just do things. Um, I'm excited about it. I know a lot of people are excited about it, but hopefully this Delta variant will not slow that down. Hopefully we can get, at least some type of normalcy going so that we're able to at least have, a normal, especially for you to have a normal school year.
Yes.
I hope and pray that for you so much, so much, so much.
Thank you.
So yeah, so again, congratulations on the book launch. I am so happy for you. I got to see all of the pictures on Instagram. Looks like you were having a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 definitely. So let's talk about your team. So how important is it to basically have a great foundation and have a team, because you have a wonderful team that basically helps you and keep you grounded. So tell me about that. Tell me a little bit about your team and how important it is to have, a great team behind you.
Yeah, so my team right now is my family. So, consisting of my mom, which is my manager, and my aunt, which is my brand ambassador and my marketer. So she also helps me a lot with social media. And it's nice. It's really great to have close people because I'm comfortable with them. I feel like I can talk to them, and if I have a problem with something, I can let them know, or if I'm struggling with something, or if I'm nervous about something, I can just, talk to them about it freely. And I feel like it's really important to feel comfortable with the people that you have, especially when it's about your brand, when it's about something that's so personal to you and that represents you. Um, so, yeah, my team is awesome.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think, like you said, to basically have the foundation with your family, to have your family behind you, I think is 100, and to be able to have your parents and your mom, especially. I think no better other person to have in your corner than your mom, right? So I think that is so wonderful. But before I let you go, tell us your social media where everyone can reach you, where we can buy the book.
So, my social media is all about Jada Camille on Instagram, and it's Enjoying Jada Camille on Facebook. You could also purchase the book on Amazon by searching in Elements Go to School too.
Awesome, awesome. And I think that the entire title, Elements Go to School Too, um, it's just it's amazing. I think, it's one of those things I think where someone will look at it and say, well, what is she talking about? Elements go to school too, just taking a look at the title within itself. It's just one of those things to where they make you wonder, make you think, and want to actually purchase the book to see exactly where the story takes you. So very super, very proud of you, super proud of you,
Thank
and all of your accomplishments that you have made this year. But before I go,
you.
what is one thing that you would like to tell all of the youth that are watching you right now with their parents?
I would say, just be yourself, okay? Just be yourself. Just do you and try to be your best self. Don't just walk through life. Try to make sure that you're always thinking of what to do next. Try to make sure that you're always thinking of what can I do today, to that will make tomorrow easier. So make sure to always have your stuff together. Make sure to always keep yourself uplifted, and that would be my advice.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jada. It was a pleasure having you on tonight. Much success to you on your senior year. Hopefully, you'll be able to have a normal senior year, senior prom, all that other good
That's
stuff.
go.
I'm looking forward to seeing everything on Instagram as you go through this journey, especially the success of your book. Elements go to school too. So those are the things that I'm really looking forward to, being a part of your journey, Jada. So don't forget us, and hopefully you'll be able to stop back by before you take off or before you graduate for your senior year. I would love to chat with you again to check in with you and see how things are going.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes, definitely. Shouts out to Press Magazine. Shouts out to Ben as well. And thank you all so much. Jada, again, thank you for coming on the show. This has been another edition of Industry Conversations 101. I'm your girl, Nisha, aka Nisha the Voice, signing out. Good night, everybody.